watches over the Puget Sound. Berenice's hair drapes the horizon to the fair. There is my lucky star tonight, the seventh sister of the Pleiades, walks in beauty like the night, oh, that is best, dark and now lost to me. Only trust in the northern star. That's the only point.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, and thank you.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. From our compound, from the West Coast to the East Coast to worldwide, both on the internet and terrestrial radio, you're listening to Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark.
And here I am. Boy, I can't believe how fast nowadays the show is just, the 3 hours, this goes by like nothing. So when we go on November 15th, we're going 4 hours long. We're going to have 2 guests each night. We're going to have the news on the top of the hour, the paranormal news with James Krischbaum. And then twice a week, we're going to have one person coming in, Tobias Whalen, giving us cryptic, monster reports and sightings and all that stuff. And then we'll have Ryan on talking about UFOs and, strange reports he gets. He'll be sharing that with us and so much more on Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. We'll be on Monday through Friday from 6 to 10 p.m. Pacific West Coast time. And then we'll be on from 9 to 1 Eastern time. Hey, tell your friends about us. James, are you there?
I am here. And the new format's going to be the double capital E. It's going to be extremely entertaining and educational all in one.
And we're going to have great guests, too. 2 guests a night. And we're going to have a lot of guests from the 15th to the end of the month on UFOs and abductions and all that type of stuff. Time travel and all that, too. It's going to be a fun time for, me and you, James, and Sam, but going to be a great time for the listeners.
Yes, it is. And they can catch all the updated stuff that's coming in as far as daily that I'll be reporting on for paranormal news. And then once a week, like you say, with Mr. Fusco and Tobias for the UFO and the cryptids.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now, if you are a singer or you are a band and you want your music played, for maybe a week or two on Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark as bumper music, you can get a hold of us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. That's nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. You can send us, an MP3 file, your music. We'll listen to it. If we like it, we'll contact you. All we ask, if we agree that we're going to play it on our show, is bumper music. You give us the rights to do that. Also, if you give us where they can purchase it, we'll put you up on the website with your link where they can even download and buy your music. Hey, it's a win-win situation for all of us. Hey, Sam, what did you think about Colleen and working at the Lizzie Borden house?
Man, there was so many aspects of her job there. I'm telling you, I kind of envious about some of the things that she was talking about. And it's just all the things that you want to explore. She was doing it.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know how her parents died. The only thing I know is, I seen documentaries. They made a movie, about Lizzie Borden, 40 Wax and all this stuff. I remember watching that years and years ago, but it didn't go into how they actually were killed, just other than chopped up with. In fact, that movie, they showed it with one of the axes with the axe handle, like about a 3-4 foot handle with the axe on it. To me, it sounds like, no, it was done with a hand, axe.
Yeah. Her description of some of the photos that she said she saw and the vivid descriptions of what happened to them was pretty gruesome. Where part of the brains are spilled all over the place. I could be graphic too. It doesn't really bother me, but
well, it only bothers me if I have to see it.
Yes, of course. And a lot of documentaries don't delve into the exact form of what the person experienced that was being killed.
Well, how about the person that was doing the killing? It had to be amount of rage. To take it out and like maybe the poison idea, since she couldn't get poison, it left her down to doing it physically. And I didn't even know. I don't know if you knew that, James, but I didn't know she was at a drugstore a day or so before looking for poison to maybe her parents.
I'd actually heard that in some of the research I did. That's how I found out about she bought a dress that was a couple sizes too big for her that same week before. So why would she do that, And unless you was planning on doing that, and then you just take that filthy dress off and burn it, and you could do it quick. Because think about it, if they come there quick, that's what they try to do to try to catch whoever did it. She'd be clean. She wouldn't have a dirty dress on. And like you said, whoever did this, the parents knew these people. Whoever killed them, they knew them. And whoever did it up close and personal. Because think about it. You're repeatedly hit somebody 11 times and 18 times. Just put yourself in that mindset from that. You're doing that out of rage and passion because you really hate them. So that tells me that it all points to her. For me, I did a lot of research on this years and years ago, but I could be wrong.
Well, the relative, though, it came there the night before and spent the night and kind of just, I'm staying the night, okay, and not even asking. Maybe could have been involved with Lizzie. Maybe split, get a little extra money. Maybe he needed money or something like that. Maybe he helped, in the demise of her parents.
Very well could be. That's very plausible indeed. And again, I mentioned to it, it's not proven. That's why I just said it kind of was rumored that there was some abuse there, and she kind of touched on it too. And that would be a motive along with the inheritance, and she did validate that it was like a next day or so they was going to change that will, and mysteriously the will was never found. So that kind of speaks volumes too.
Yeah, they disposed of it. But think about that. Maybe when you really think about it, that the relative had spent the night the day before, or that night, the night before the murder, could have had some other type of motive. Maybe Liz's father, loaned him money. He couldn't pay it back. Maybe he was being blackmailed. Maybe him and Liz were doing something. Who knows? We'll never know. But I find it very strange. All of a sudden, a relative the night before it barges in and says, well, I'm spending the night.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that whole case was just strange, and there's a lot of strange stuff that happened. You're absolutely right. And that, you just pointed out to him, that was a very, very another strange thing that happened, him just popping up.
Yeah, and then like Colleen kind of mentioned, she feels maybe that Liz wasn't the main killer or the killer. It could have been somebody else. But again, maybe she was tied into it. So we'll never know. But maybe one of these spirit boxes will tell us someday, and we'll find closure on it. It's just a situation. I mean, you have the Liz Borden house. It's not the only house that it had all kinds of strange things. The thing is, a lot of these homes where these murders have taken place, they can't give the houses away. People will go buy the house and then strange things happen. To recently, in the last probably 20 years, you didn't have to disclose if a murder took place in the house. Now you have to. Otherwise, you buy a house and you find out, hey, some people were killed in this house and murdered. You can go back to the real estate agent. You could go back to the seller and kill the deal and get your money back, or try to anyway. But back then, people kept that quiet. But think about how many people have bought houses that maybe have spirits in it, that there's no closure. Horrendous murders.
Absolutely, and I think that some of the states might not even have to divulge that. Now, I do know the 1988 case that happened in New York on, I think, Long Island or Staten Island. There, I forget which house it was, but that's what happened. Somebody bought it and was haunted. They didn't say nothing. Bad haunting. They took it to court and won. But here's the ironic part: was it became so notorious that people paid 5 times what it was worth, because it got into that fad where people wanted to have a haunted house. People wanted to stay in or visit haunted places. So it's kind of shifted, so to speak. So where it's not necessarily a bad thing to own a haunted place, because they turn them into cash cows. Yeah,
I guess that's true. But I mean, there's been cases, like there's one famous one that the people moved in, and the next thing you know, after there for a while, their whole personalities change, and then all of a sudden, they're a loving couple. They have a couple kids. The father, starts getting mean towards the wife, and slapping, hitting, and then all of a sudden, he's close to wanting to off his family. It's been cases like that, and that was a very famous one. And I don't want to mention the name. You can if you want, but things like that make you wonder. There's a lot of places like that. Sam, how do you feel?
Sometimes I wonder if of course, you're talking about Lizzie Borden and the connection afterwards of the murder of paranormal activity. And I was going to say there were some places, I believe, you even have to disclose, as part of the disclosure on a sale of property, about paranormal activity at the house, not just the fact that someone was murdered in it. But it makes me wonder that, did something happen in that? I don't know when that house was built that the Bordens lived in, or that location. Because it sounded like there was a lot of weird family stuff going on there anyway, some eccentric behavior on the part of the father, who was very frugal, and they didn't have any of the comforts of everyone else around there. And so there's a lot of weirdness going on in the family that way. It makes you wonder if there was something that happened in that same location, even way before there, that was influencing the members of that family to eventually culminate into the murder of what took place.
Well, it could have led up to it. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I absolutely kind of believe that there's probably something on that land that absolutely, it started back in the 1848 when it affected the other Borden family, where the mother threw her 3 kids down that well. I do believe that there was something there that was kind of evil in that land, and it touched them, and it affected them emotionally, maybe attached to them, and I believe it carried on over because the other Bordens on the land too. And I believe it affected them mentally and spiritually. I can see that happening, and it does happen. And I kind of edge that way that that's probably what happened. And whatever's in the basement there, I do know from just being there, I could feel there is something dark in that basement. And maybe that's what was there originally that's affecting people. I do know you just don't throw holy water on something like that without having a game plan. It's going to lash out.
No, they probably did, and I wonder how many people, ghost hunters going into places like that actually, like I said earlier, bring other entities in it, or